Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed the prokaryotic cell and the structure of prokaryotic cell. Now in this class we will talk about the eukaryotic cell and its structure. So what is a eukaryotic cell? So here U refers to true and karyon refers to nucleus. So what exactly here U refers to true and karyon refers to nucleus. So which says that, so as the name only indicates, eukaryotic in the sense which contains a true nucleus. So what exactly a true nucleus? If a nucleus is bounded by a specific or definite nuclear membrane, such type of nucleus is called as a true nucleus. So this is the nuclear membrane. If we find the presence of nuclear membrane, so such a nucleus is called as a true nucleus. Just recall the nucleus which you have studied in the prokaryotic cell. In case of prokaryotic cell, in bacteria, here the genetic material is freely suspended in the cytoplasm, but it is not enclosed by any nuclear membrane. That's why it is called as false nucleus. But here in all eukaryotes there will be a presence of nuclear membrane around the genetic material. So we can define eukaryotic cell like this. The cell which contains a true nucleus with a definite nuclear membrane and membrane bound cell organelles in the cytoplasm is called as eukaryotic cell. Just look at this cell. It is a diagram of a plant cell. So you can observe the presence of nucleus. Here the nucleus is bounded by a nuclear membrane. Hence it is a true nucleus. And not only true nucleus, all eukaryotic cells contain the membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria, plastids, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, etc. So only in case of eukaryotes we will find the presence of such type of membrane bound cell organelles and a true nucleus. So what is a eukaryotic cell? The cell in which true nucleus with a definite nuclear membrane and membrane bound cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm is called eukaryotic cell. And where do we find the presence of eukaryotic cell? So these eukaryotic cells are usually present in protists, fungi, plants and animals. You have studied the 5 kingdoms of classification. Among the 5 kingdoms, the one and only kingdom of prokaryotes is Monera. Except Monera, all kingdoms contain the eukaryotic organisms. That's why I am saying the eukaryotic cells can be seen in protista, fungi, plants and animals. Then these eukaryotic cells, they are usually larger in size and they measure about 10 to 100 microns in diameter. So the size of the eukaryotic cell is quite larger than that of the prokaryotic cell and which measures about 10 to 100 microns in diameter. Then all eukaryotic cells they contains an outermost boundary. Outermost boundary, it is usually a plasma membrane. But in case of plant cell, when we look at the plant cell, here the cell is enclosed by a rigid cell wall. So this is called as the cell wall, rigid cell wall, which is followed by the plasma membrane. What the blue colored layer you can see, this is called as a plasma membrane. In all eukaryotic cells, there will be a presence of plasma membrane, but in plant cell, in addition to plasma membrane, there is a presence of a rigid cell wall. But in case of animal cell, the cell wall is completely absent. The animal cells are bounded by only plasma membrane. You will come to know when we talk about the animal cell. Now just remember, here there will be a presence of rigid cell wall followed by cell membrane, but in animal cell the cell wall is absent. They contains only plasma membrane. And this plasma membrane encloses the plasma membrane which encloses protoplasm. plasma membrane encloses protoplasm. You already know about protoplasm. Here, protoplasm is differentiated into cytoplasm and nucleus. So here you can see, so this is the cell wall, this is the plasma membrane which contains cytoplasm and nucleus. Together it is called as protoplasm. Yeah, plasma membrane encloses protoplasm which is differentiated into cytoplasm and nucleus. So here cytoplasm, you know that cytoplasm, it is a semi-fluid matrix which contains various organic and inorganic substances. Not only organic and inorganic substances, the cytoplasm encloses various membrane-bound cell organelles, non-membranous organelles, cell inclusions, etc., which are all present in the cytoplasm. And when we talk about the nucleus, you should remember here the cytoplasm encloses organic and inorganic substances, membrane-bound cell organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, etc., and non-membranous organelles like ribosomes and centrioles. Here we cannot find the presence of centrioles. You just remember ribosomes. So these are the non-membranous structures which are present in the cytoplasm. Then when we observe the nucleus, so here nucleus, which is a true nucleus. Why it is a true nucleus? Because the nucleus is bounded by a specific or definite nuclear membrane. You can look at the nucleus. So nucleus is enclosed by a specific nuclear membrane, and this membrane encloses the nucleoplasm. So as you see the fluid matrix within the cell called as cytoplasm, and the fluid matrix within the nucleus is called as nucleoplasm, and which also encloses nucleolus and the thread-like chromatin network. So what is this nucleolus, nucleoplasm, chromatin network? What is their function? Everything we will be discussing in detail in this chapter only. Now you just remember, here it is a true nucleus with a definite nuclear membrane and encloses nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromatin network. So this chromatin network contains the genetic material DNA. So this is basically the structure of eukaryotic cell. But all eukaryotic cells are not similar. For example, the animal cell, which is a eukaryotic cell, and plant cell, it is also a eukaryotic cell. But the plant and animal cells, they show certain differences. So in order to know the differences, we need to study about the plant cell as well as animal cell. Now in this class, we will talk about the plant cell. Then in the next class, we will talk about the animal cell. Then we will find out the difference between plant and animal cell. Now we are going to study about the plant cell. So why we study the plant cell? Just look at the shape of the cell. In case of plant cell, the shape of the cell is usually either hexagonal or polygonal. Here you can see a hexagonal shaped structure. It may be hexagonal, sometimes rectangular, and most of the time it is polygonal. But usually it is hexagonal in shape. And this plant cell, which is enclosed by or which is bounded by a plasma membrane. You can look at the plasma membrane here. So plasma membrane, which is present, which is the boundary of the cell. Generally it is the boundary of the cell. In plant cell, the cell is enclosed by or bounded by the plasma membrane. In addition to plasma membrane, there is an additional layer called as a cell wall. So cell wall, it is the characteristic feature in case of plant cell. We cannot find cell wall in case of animal cell. That's why the presence of cell wall is the characteristic feature of plant cell, and this cell wall is made up of cellulose. The chemical composition of cell wall is cellulose. Can you recall the cell wall composition in case of bacteria? It is peptidoglycan. but here in all plants the cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. So just remember here the plant cell which is bounded by plasma membrane. In addition to plasma membrane, there is an additional layer called as a cell wall, and cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. And again the plasma membrane encloses a protoplasm, and this protoplasm is again differentiated into cytoplasm and nucleus. You can see the cytoplasm as well as a nucleus. Together it is referred to as protoplasm. Then here when you look at the nucleus, it is again a true nucleus with a definite nuclear membrane. Nucleolus is present, nucleoplasm, chromatin network, everything is similar. But when we study the cytoplasm in plant cell, so here the cytoplasm encloses various membrane-bound cell organelles, non-membrane structures. Here we are very importantly we should know about the structures which are present in the cytoplasm, because nucleus is same both in case of both in case of a plant cell and animal cell, but the difference we can find out within the cytoplasm, and even shape is also different. So what are all the structures which are present in the cytoplasm in plant cell? So here cytoplasm encloses various cell organelles. We list out what are the different types of cell organelles which are present in plant cell. So firstly, which contains nucleus, you know that. Nucleus is also present within the cytoplasm, that's why I have listed, and this is enclosed by a membrane, that's why it is also a membrane-bound cell organelle. And secondly, endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, which can be simply written as ER. So here you can see endoplasmic reticulum, which is usually arising from the nuclear membrane. From the nuclear membrane only the endoplasmic reticulum is arising, and this endoplasmic reticulum is of two types. One is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, other one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. So on what basis it is said to be smooth or rough? See, in case of bacterial cell, we studied the ribosomes, which are sometimes they are attached to plasma membrane and sometimes they are freely present in the cytoplasm. Similarly, within the cytoplasm we can find the presence of free ribosomes, and some ribosomes are attached to endoplasmic reticulum on the outer surface. So on the outer surface of the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes ribosomes are present. So these are the ribosomes. If you find the presence of ribosomes on the endoplasmic reticulum, such type of endoplasmic reticulum is referred to as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Because of the presence of ribosomes, the surface is not smooth, it appears to be rough. That's why this endoplasmic reticulum is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. And here we cannot find the presence of ribosomes on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. That's why it is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. I hope you are all understanding. So here the endoplasmic reticulum, there are also membrane-bound cell organelles present in the cytoplasm, but they are usually arising from the nuclear membrane, and endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Here, if the ribosomes are absent, it is called as a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. If ribosomes are present on the surface, it is referred to as rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the third structure we will take here. So we will list out all the structures which are present in the cytoplasm one by one. So firstly, I told you it is nucleus. Secondly, endoplasmic reticulum. Again, here it is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then the third structures which are present in the cytoplasm, which is a Golgi complex. Golgi complex in plant cell. The Golgi complex can also be called as dictyosome. So why it is called nucleosome, everything we can study later when we discuss each and every organelle. So here Golgi complex is present. You can look at the Golgi complex here. This Golgi complex, it is usually present near to the nucleus, and there is a reason why this Golgi complex it is located very near to nucleus. There is a reason that we can able to study later when we discuss about the Golgi complex. So Golgi complex is present. Next, mitochondria. So mitochondria, so this is called as a powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called powerhouse of the cell? Everything we can able to study. Here mitochondria, it is similar both in plant cell and animal cell. Then ribosomes. So ribosomes are the non-membranous cell organelles. You should remember these are non-membranous cell organelles. But in prokaryotic cell, you know that there are 70s type of ribosomes are present in prokaryotic cell. So in 70s, it is made up of two subunit, a larger subunit having 50 years and smaller subunit having 30 years. Do you find the same type of ribosomes in case of eukaryotes? No, not at all. Here, in case of all eukaryotes, the ribosomes are of ATS type. The ribosomes are of ATS. You know what is S? It is the Svedberg constant. R, sedimentation coefficient. Here, the ATS ribosomes are made up of again two subunits, a larger subunit and a smaller subunit. Here, the larger subunit having 60 years and smaller subunit having 40 years. Again, I am telling you, here you cannot add these two. If you add, it becomes 100 years. But here, it is an ATS type of ribosome made up of two subunits, a larger 60 years and a smaller 40 years type of ribosomes. Then, so you can see the ribosomes which are present in the cytoplasm, and some ribosomes are usually attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Then the next structures are plastids. Plastids, especially chloroplast. The characteristic feature of plant cell is that the presence of chloroplast. You know, all plants can able to synthesize their own food mainly because of the presence of chloroplast, and chloroplast is absent in case of animal cell. That's why we cannot synthesize our own food. So this is the characteristic feature in case of plant cell, presence of plastids, especially chloroplast. And again there are different types of chloroplast that we will study later. Then other structures which are present in the cytoplasm. Here lysosomes, they are usually rare in case of plant cell. Maybe if they are present very less in number, but usually they are rare in the plant cell. They are commonly present in animal cell. And here some cytoskeletal structures are present in the cytoplasm. They are called as microtubules. Here cytoskeletal structures. Cytoskeletal structures like microtubules. There are different types of cytoskeletal structures like microtubules, microfilaments, etc. that we are going to study in detail later. So microtubules are present, and some microbodies. Some microbodies are present like peroxisome, and some more glyoxysomes, spirosomes, etc. are the microbodies which are present in the cytoplasm. So here microtubules are the cytoskeletal structures present in the cytoplasm. So what are these cytoskeletal structures? Everything I will tell you. And the microbodies like peroxysomes, glyoxysomes, spirosomes are present. And here the characteristic feature of this plant cell is that the presence of large central vacuole. The presence of a large central vacuole. So presence of large central vacuole is another characteristic feature of plant cell. You can observe here this large vacuole which occupies most of the space in the cytoplasm. So because of this reason, in plant cell, the nucleus is located towards one side. When you differentiate the plant and animal cell, here the position of nucleus in plant cell, it is towards one side, but in animal cell, it is located exactly in the center. The reason you will come to know. So another characteristic feature in plant cell is that the presence of large central vacuole which occupies most of the space. That's why the nucleus is towards one side. So let us recall whatever the structures we have studied or discussed now. Here I told you plant cell which is enclosed by a plasma membrane, and plasma membrane is followed by our outer two plasma membrane. There is an additional layer called as cell wall which is made up of cellulose. And plasma membrane encloses both cytoplasm and nucleus. Nucleus is a definite nucleus or true nucleus with nuclear membrane, nucleolus, nucleoplasm and chromatid. Cytoplasm encloses various membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulum like a smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex and lysosomes, usually rare, and non-membranous structures like ribosomes. But ribosomes are ATS type of ribosomes in eukaryotic cell. There is a large central vacuole which pushes the nucleus towards one side, and presence of microtubules. These are the skeletal structures, and peroxisomes are the microbodies which are present in the plant cell. And here I have written plasmodesmata. Just you look at the cell wall. So here the cell wall, actually this red colored layer what you can see, it is called as a middle lamella. So middle lamella is the first layer or first wall formed at the time of cell division, later followed by the cell wall, that is a primary wall, secondary wall, etc. So here only where you can find the middle lamella. The red colored line is called as middle lamella. So we will be discussing this middle lamella also later. So here somewhere the cell wall is absent, or we can say the primary wall is absent, and you can see only the presence of middle lamella. And in detail we can say that where the cellulose is absent and only the middle lamella is present, that region is called as plasmodesmata, and plasmodesmata plays a very important role for the exchange of materials between the cells. How? Because see, this is the one cell. Here there will be one more cell. Through this plasmodesmata, the exchange of materials will be taking place. That's why plasmodesmata, which plays a very important role between the exchange of helps in exchange of materials between the two cells. So this completes about the plant cell, and in the next class we will be discussing about the animal cell. And you should draw this diagram very neatly, and you should note down all the points and whatever the structures which are present only in plant cell, or what are the characteristic features of plant cell, everything you need to list out. So in the next class we will talk about the animal cell.